The movie begins with Tess Marshall arriving at a house she reserved on Arabic amid heavy rain. However, upon reaching the door, she discovers that the keys are not in the designated lockbox. Following instructions from the booking agent, Tess attempts to contact the person who booked the house, but only reaches voicemail. Unable to get in touch, she leaves a callback request in the voicemail. Adding to her confusion, she notices that the lights inside the house are on. After ringing the doorbell, she is surprised to find a man named Keith inside. It becomes apparent that Keith is also renting the same house, suggesting a double booking error by the agent due to the inability to reach the original bookers. Despite the rainy weather, Keith sympathetically lets Tess inside. He shows her his booking confirmation on the app to verify his claim. Feeling uneasy about sharing the house, Tess explores nearby hotels but discovers they are fully booked due to a medical convention in town. Keith, overhearing her conversation, informs her of the situation and suggests she stay the night. He offers her the bedroom. As Keith brings in her suitcase, Tess, as a safety measure, takes a picture of his ID from his wallet, which she found in the bedroom. Returning the wallet, she takes a shower. When she rejoins Keith, he is waiting with an unopened bottle of wine and 2 glasses. Politely declining to drink, Tess agrees to chat with him. During their conversation, they discover a common interest. Keith is one of the founders of a Detroit music collective, the subject of Catherine James' upcoming film, the filmmaker Tess is interviewing with. With a shared connection, Tess relaxes and the two engage in a lively conversation. Keith lightens the mood by demonstrating a humorous way to flip fresh sheets, eliciting laughter from Tess. Together, they put the new sheets on the bed, and as Keith wishes her good night, it becomes evident that he is developing feelings for her. During the night, Tess is awakened by a creaking door and discovers it swinging open. Adding to the eerie atmosphere, she hears Keith panting in his sleep and saying, "Help me." Concerned, she approaches him, not noticing another bedroom door slowly swinging in the background. Tess wakes Keith, who is startled. She explains hearing her door and questions if it was him, to which he denies. After apologizing, she ensures her door is locked before going back to sleep. In the morning, Tess doesn't find Keith, but discovers a note from him expressing that he had a great time with her the previous night and is currently out. Upon leaving the house for her job interview, Tess finally notices that every house in the neighborhood, except the one she and Keith are staying in, is dilapidated and vacant. Despite the ominous atmosphere, she brushes off the red flag due to her lateness and proceeds to the interview. After the interview, Catherine James, upon learning Tess is staying in Brightmoor, expresses concern about the neighborhood's safety, but Tess reassures her. Returning home, Tess encounters a homeless man who shouts at her to leave the house. Terrified, she quickly grabs the keys and locks herself inside just in time. Attempting to call 911, she learns they can't dispatch help immediately. Consequently, she packs her bags and copes with the situation inside the house. Later, while searching for toilet paper in the basement, she inadvertently locks herself inside. Realizing her phone is in the bedroom and the house keys in her pocket, making it impossible for Keith to enter, Tess examines her surroundings. Discovering a rope in the wall, she pulls it, revealing an ominous door in the basement. Peering inside, she uses a mirror to illuminate a dark hall. Curiosity piqued, she decides to explore it. Yelling Keith's name prompts his screams for help, compelling Tess to descend. Navigating through dark halls, she discovers rusty cages with doggy bowls. Deeper inside, she finds a terrified Keith claiming he was bitten. They argue about the way out, but are interrupted by a horrifying humanoid creature that kills Keith. The creature then turns its attention to Tess, leaving her fate unknown. The scene shifts to Jay Gilbride, a Hollywood actor facing career turmoil due to allegations of sexual misconduct. To fund legal expenses, he travels to Detroit to liquidate a property in Brightmoor, which happens to be the house Tess stayed in. Upon arrival, he sees Tess's car and scattered belongings along with Keith's. Angry, he assumes squatters and calls his house manager, who denies recent Airbnb bookings. Unconvinced, he goes to town and reveals his past misdeeds to a friend. The next day, he investigates Tess and Keith's identities, finding Tess's laptop and car keys. Suspecting the basement, he arms himself and discovers the hidden door. Unfazed by the eerie discoveries, AJ sees an opportunity to increase property value. He measures the dark hall and discovers another hidden door leading further underground. Excited, he ignores the cages, showing no fear. AJ remains oblivious to the ominous signs and sees the situation as a chance to profit from additional space in the property. Continuing his exploration, AJ encounters a light further down the tunnel. Upon approaching, he discovers a foul-smelling room with a small TV playing an old tutorial on nursing a baby. Feeling a tug on his measuring tape, he lets it go and runs deeper upon hearing a scary noise. The creature suddenly appears in front of him, terrifying AJ, who continues running until he falls down a hole. To his surprise, Tess is in the hole with him. The narrative shifts to the 1980s, revealing the house's original owner, Frank. Leaving his home, he interacts with residents and heads to the grocery store, claiming to be expecting a newborn. However, his behavior takes a sinister turn as he follows a lady and later disguises himself as a city electrician to access her home. Returning to the present, Tess warns AGA to remain calm and not upset the creature. On cue, the creature appears, offering them a baby bottle. Tess drinks the questionable liquid, explaining that the creature wants them to be her babies. The creature steps into the hole and cradles Tess, but AJ refuses to drink. The creature baby talks AJ and takes him away, leaving Tess alone. The scene shifts to AJ being taken to a room where the creature forces him to nurse. Seizing the opportunity, Tess climbs out of the hole and escapes. However, she makes a noise, alerting the creature. Unable to unlock the basement door, Tess crawls through a tiny window, assisted by a homeless person just before the creature arrives. The homeless man, familiar with the creature, warns Tess that she must run away because the creature is not alone in the basement. Meanwhile, AJ discovers a bell on a power line in the tunnels and decides to follow them. The homeless man from the earlier scene discloses that the creature comes out at night, searching for Tess, and that there are more creatures in the basement. AJ continues his venture down the tunnels. He discovers a room with a very old man inside who is none other than Frank. Back on the surface, Tess has made it all the way to a nearby gas station and borrowed the shopkeeper's phone to call 911. But when the police arrive, they look down on her and think she's a drug addict. So she convinces them to come to the house to save AJ. But upon arriving, the officers are skeptical about Tess's claims and think she's just another delirious homeless person. So they drive away. While this is going on, Frank gestures for AJ to fetch in his bedside drawer, so AJ does. Afterwards, AJ discovers a series of tape recordings labeled with various women's names, so he decides to play one. As it turns out, it contains a recording of a woman getting raped. Infuriated, AJ starts yelling at Frank until Frank pulls out a gun from the drawer and suddenly shoots himself. Meanwhile, upstairs, Tess breaks the house's window and goes inside to fetch her car keys. But when she manages to get inside the car and starts the engine, the mother steps out, prompting her to drive towards it, ramming her into the wall until she seemingly passes out. Afterwards, she heads downstairs to fetch AJ, while at the same time, AJ takes Frank's gun to arm himself and starts venturing back out in the tunnels. Unfortunately, AJ mistakenly shoots Tess on the waist. He then helps her get up, and they frantically exit the house, but to their surprise, the creature is no longer stuck to the car as Tess's car is done for. While AJ's car keys are somewhere in the tunnels, Tess leads them to where the homeless man leaves to find shelter. Here, the homeless man explains to them that the original house owner, aka Frank, was a serial rapist who would hold women hostage and rape them until they make babies. He then would get the babies to procreate with one another, and after generations of incest, the mother is the final product who's been in the house for over 40 years. In a desperate bid for safety, the homeless man reassures AJ and Tess that they're safe because the creature doesn't venture far from the house. However, this assurance is shattered when the mother suddenly appears and brutally tears the homeless man's limbs apart. In a panic, AJ and Tess run to a nearby water tower, but Tess, injured, struggles to climb. Upon reaching the top, AJ, belatedly recalling he has a gun, clumsily fumbles with it, causing it to slip from his hands. Trapped and facing imminent danger, AJ reveals his true nature by heartlessly throwing Tess off the tower. Aware that the creature would instinctively try to save her, Tess is indeed rescued by the mother, seemingly sacrificing herself in the process. Believing the mother is now dead, AJ descends to check on Tess. To his surprise, he finds that the mother shielded Tess from the fall, and Tess miraculously survives. Feigning ignorance, AJ claims he doesn't know what happened and attributes the incident to Tess slipping. The stage is set for the chilling events that follow in this gripping narrative. To AJ's surprise, the creature gets up and grabs him. She gouges AJ's eyes out with her thumbs before cracking his head in two. The mother then comes up to Tess and tenderly tries to lift her, but Tess is in way too much pain. She softly tries to speak to Tess and tries taking her down the tunnels again while Tess takes AJ's gun. She then aims it at the mother with a slight look of remorse on her face before pulling the trigger. Tess then gets up and walks out of the area to get medical attention. And this is where the movie ends. Subscribe for more videos like this and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. Leave us a like to help us out and comment your thoughts on the video. Stay awesome.